And thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Bob. We're going to start tonight with a proposed housing project on Dickson Street in downtown Fayetteville that is not going to move forward. 5 News reporter Kayla Davis live on Dickson this evening. Kayla, a strong need for and a lot of concern against this project. So what happened?
Yeah, Darren, residents spoke against that 600-bed housing project in that meeting. The development was supposed to be built right here in this parking lot across from the United States Post Office and the Collier Pharmacy on Dickson Street. But it was ultimately voted down because of a new study that found that traffic would be made worse in this area if the project continued.
Fayetteville continues to be one of the fastest growing cities in the state, largely because of the local university's growing population. And as the housing crisis continues, local leaders and private contractors alike are working to fix the issue, including Trinitas Ventures, the developers behind the 185-unit Dickson Street housing project. Their building would have provided more than 600 beds catered to University of Arkansas students and young professionals. But after the proposal was voted down in the City Planning Commission on Monday, 5 News asked the university what happens now with the continuing need to accommodate a growing student population.
Across the 7,200 students that we house, which is about 6,200 on campus. That's how many beds we have on campus, is 6,200. And approximately 1,000 beds off campus that we contracted with. We've used partners this last year, including Marshall, the Locale, Cardinal, that's where a lot of our first year students live, and then also College Town.
The university has set record enrollment every year for the last 4 years, with the 2024 freshman class the second largest in university history at 6,614 students. As more students enter Fayetteville, some may wonder how there's enough space. Christopher Spencer with U of A Housing says they're actively working on a solution.
We're in the design and development phase of building a new residence hall, and that's going to be about 700 plus new beds that are going to be, for those of you who know campus a little bit, near Maple Hill.
The university's new dorm is expected to be finished in 2028, and it'll be the second dorm built in the last 10 years. Live in Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Kayla Davis, 5 News.
All right, Kayla, thanks. Now let's talk about the forecast. We take a live look out now over the Fayetteville Square, Chamber of Commerce Day from the Chamber of Commerce. But another gorgeous day today, although that is about to change, or at least sometime very soon it's about to change.
We're going to squeeze out a couple of more okay days before, things get rainy and stormy. In the meantime, this fella right here, area of high pressure, keeping us nice and clear out there. You'll notice where we are in relation to that high. Our winds are out of the north, but overnight tonight, this fella is going to be sliding off towards the east. And when that happens, our winds shift back out of the south tomorrow. That warms us up. Now, we'll have a cool start to the day. These are the overnight low temperatures, low 40s, northwest Arkansas. How about low to mid 40s in the River Valley? Cool enough. I think a lot of us, certainly the kids out the door at the bus stop, probably do want those light jackets. But by the afternoon, with abundant sunshine, that strong southerly wind, upper 70s, even some low 80s across most of the area. There is a very small chance of a 20% stray shower tomorrow. We'll track that coming up in just a bit. I think the big story for us is it's going to get warmer. It's going to get windy towards the end of the week. And then we're tracking rain and thunderstorm chances. Not 1, not 2, but there's 3 severe weather risks Friday, Saturday, and I'm afraid on Easter Sunday as well. The latest there here in just a few.
All right, Scott, thanks. Arkansas's legislative session set to wrap up tomorrow. Lawmakers have until they adjourn for the year tomorrow to get legislation through committee and then approved by both chambers. One of the bills sent to the governor this week could make groceries much cheaper by this time next year. Legislation would eliminate the state grocery sales tax. Now, the current sales tax by the state is 1/8 of a cent. 5 News reporter Rachel Williams joining us now about how much of a difference this is going to make to your wallets.
Grocery stores are a staple in communities. This legislative session, state leaders are working to ease the financial burden Arkansas families are facing when they have to decide what they can and can't afford.
It's not a significant amount of relief to each individual Arkansan, but any relief is appreciated. We know we owe it to the people of Arkansas to continue to work on it.
House Bill 1685 aims to eliminate the state's current 1/8 of a cent sales tax on groceries. Senator Bart Hester, one of the bill's primary sponsors, says under this measure, lawmakers are redefining what a grocery is.
Well, the Constitution says anything in this section that's labeled grocery will receive this sales tax. Well, so what we're doing is we're just removing grocery from that area of Arkansas code, which the Constitution just references that section of code.
Let's break down this proposed legislation and what it means for you at the grocery store. If you spend $100, you'll save about 12 to 13 cents. If you spend $200, you'll save 25 cents.
But the state's eliminating what we can control on your groceries. Your local cities and your local counties are still in Arkansas taxing your groceries, so there will still be a little bit.
But how much will Arkansans save each year?
They save about $10.9 million overall. So it's people break it down into what it means per 100, and that's certainly understandable. But overall, it's almost $11 million at the end of the day. There was a point when Arkansans were still paying 6% on all their groceries. And with this legislation, it's been stepped down. This eliminates that last portion, which is, 1/8 of a penny.
Lawmakers gave the final approval on this measure yesterday. It's now headed to the governor's desk, and she is expected to sign it within the next couple of days. And when she does, the state grocery tax will take effect on January 1st of next year. Darren?
All right, Rachel, so Arkansans are going to be saving millions from this. Where will we be able to find out who will lose the most on this?
Well, I talked to Scott Harden with the Department of Finance, and he says right now that money is currently going towards the Department of Parks and Tourism and other conservation programs across the state. I actually spoke with a representative of the Department of Parks and Tourism, and they say that their money, that the quality of their programs will not be affected, and that they will continue to offer world-class experiences with the money that they continue to receive. Back to you, Darren.
Okay. All right, Rachel, thanks. Certain junk foods could soon be off the grocery list for Arkansans who receive SNAP benefits. The governor submitting a waiver to the USDA today, making Arkansas the first state to formally request to remove items like sugary drinks and candy from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Collins joined the governor today for this announcement. She's leading the national effort and holds the authority to approve this 5-year waiver.
We at USDA are committed to funding health, not illness, to satisfying hunger with nutritious food produced and harvested by our incredible farmers and ranchers here in America, but not unhealthy food products that fuel chronic disease.
More than 100,000 households across the state get these food benefits every month. If the plan is approved, it would take effect in July of next year. By the way, a 30-day public comment period is open right now. An effort to make changes to Arkansas's ballot initiative process again rejected for a second time by the state attorney general Tim Griffin. His office says they rejected the proposal because of several aspects of the ballot title, saying they were misleading. League of Women Voters submitted that amended ballot request. They say it would add new regulations that prevent legal disputes after signature collection and prohibit the legislature from changing a voter-approved amendment. Supporters say they're reviewing today's opinion and plan to resubmit. City leaders and law enforcement in Conway gave an update this morning on that deadly mass shooting at a park on Sunday. In total, 2 people were killed, 9 others were hurt. As of right now, no one has been arrested, but they did reveal today the party that led up to the shooting was put on by an out-of-town organizer who did not have a permit to hold such a party.
These parties are going to continue to happen. Not necessarily Conway, not necessarily Little Rock, North Little Rock, Jacksonville, Pine Bluff, until the promoters of these parties who do it illegally and backdoor are held liable.
Police also revealed the identities of 2 people who died, 24-year-old Tatiana Penister from England, Arkansas, and 23-year-old Demetrius Feemster II from Little Rock. A judge in Fort Smith approving John Cole's request to defend himself in his upcoming trial. He is charged with murder in the 2021 death of Jeremiah Hawthorne. He was already sentenced to more than 30 years in prison after pleading guilty to the murder of another man in Arizona. Sebastian County issued its own arrest affidavit this month after that case wrapped up. Cole is in the Sebastian County Jail. His trial is set, by the way, to start sometime in July. University of Arkansas celebrating the opening of a new facility today. It's called the Institute for Integrative and Innovative Research. It's located at the intersection of Dickson and Duncan Avenue. University says the building will bring students and researchers from different academic sectors.
It's not so much a classroom building like you would think of a traditional classroom building, but it is experiential learning and active hands-on learning that students get through doing research, innovation, product development, design thinking. All of that comes to them.
U of A says they designed the building to reflect the character and landscape of the Ozarks.